morning, everybody. My name is Corrado Maggi. I am head of business development in Clean Air Europe. Clean Air Europe is an Italian manufacturing company that is manufacturing filter elements for dust collectors in Italy. Today, my presentations is relating some trends and how these trends are impacting a forgotten part sometimes of a cement plant, but very important for sustainability, which is the dust collector. Basically, we are speaking about the breadth of the cement factory, and emission control is an issue for future that will grow more and more. Of course, this transition, ecological transitions, now are crossing different aspects like digitization, sustainability, so energy consumption, but also safety. In Clean Air, we have a vision for this, for future, and we aim to carry our contribution to the technology to better the emission control. And so we are carrying this debate, this is our contribution to the debate, by reporting a presentation that is also inserted in the Cement and Building Material Review, the latest number, maybe in occasion of this show. Okay. So, how a relatively smaller company could impact on the challenges about emission control in the cement industry and in the green cement? Of course, by working different themes like digitization, which will have an impact more and more on our lives in future, and also in our industries, also by the advent of the artificial intelligence that in some way could be also thought to be inserted in the dust collectors. Energy efficiency is also impacting the working conditions and cleaning conditions of the dust collector. When we look at the jet pulse technology, the filter bags in the filter bag house must be cleaned, and also the working condition of the fan must be studied in a way that it preserves the savings of the energy. On the other side, there is always underlying an aspect which is concerning the safety of the operational, the safety of the people that are working often in harsh environment and in difficult conditions. The object at the end is to highlight which are the best practices in the industry and try to drive a path. So you can see that we have three brands. This is representing our latest development in our company in relation to these three areas. EcoSmart is the first asset management system specific tag which is applied to filter support, which is able to give informations, basic informations about the product installed for safety reasons. And it is consultable by the traditional mobile phone, and so is communication availability at the source on the site available for the maintenance team. EcoTurbo is representing a study that we did on bettering the Turi tube for the cleaning. So for a better release, dust release of the filter bag cake, in order to lower the cleaning frequency and save energy in dust collectors. And the EcoAtex is representing our study on surface treatment of the cage to lower the risk of ignition of electrostatic sparks, which in environment with combustible dust is very often cause of incidents and explosion. That's why ATEX is according to the ATEX directive, the European ATEX directive. We've been the first one to introduce a concept of semiconductive cages in a dust collectors. Of course, semiconductive bags, anti-static bags already exist since a long time. Now, if we look at the role of digitization in dust collector, we know that the harsh environment and harsh conditions, like at 250 Celsius degrees, very often pose a lot of limits to communication skills and energy matter, like surviving of batteries. That's why our first step has been to introduce a device with no battery and that exploit the communication available at the smartphone of the maintenance team. But of course, this is half of the solution, because this digitization could carry much more interesting challenges. Of course, if we are able to place sensors, maybe in the filter supports, that could work over the time and in our environment. This is where we are working now, and where we hope, hopefully, we can come to some conclusions in future. Because a filter cage and a filter bag support has some advantages on the normal instruments. The advantage is capillarity, because in the dust collector there are very often thousands of filters applied, and in areas which take several square meters. And so conditions are not all the same in terms of velocity, concentration of dust, airflow, and it could be interesting to have qualitative information. So not quantitative, we do not need probably to have a very expensive instruments located in one place, but we need to have very fast and moving devices that can give us trends, informations, data informations, may be useful in future for the artificial intelligence applications. So EcoSmart comes to be a very easy tag, a very simple tag, readable in near-field communication. And here we store all the information about the cages and filter bags as well. Is good for maintenance data because it's connected to cloud platform. So information about the need to change cage, change filter bag could be, of course, available on site. And also it is the best place where to collect information about the drawing and the characteristic of the product that is installed, the way procedures relative to the way it is installed, and safety procedure as well. That's why I say safety, digitization, sustainability are always the same part, or could be faced by looking at the same vision. No? Of course, this will be the future base for any cloud platform, considering a monitoring that has solved the problem of communication in our environment as the future path that the future challenge that we are working at. If we look to energy savings in dust collectors, a main aspect could be one to develop an eco-design of the filter support. Filter support historically has always been the same. They use many often Venturi tube to better performances during the cleaning by air pulse jet inlet. And the common base of acknowledge was that already this technology was mature. We don't believe so, because we ran tests with Polytechnic of Milano the last 2 years in computational fluid dynamics first, and then on site. Well, we found there was a room to better the Venturi tube. Venturi is the name of an Italian scientist of 1600, so 400 years ago. There is still room to better what he did, in the sense that we achieve a 60% more strong pressure wave that is able to release more dust. By releasing more dust, we can lower the frequency of cleaning. By lower the frequency of cleaning and air compressed consumption, we can save energy. On the other side, this EcoTurbo Venturi, we call it EcoTurbo, is also able to preserve a correct in-stream of flow, airflow coming from the process, because it's not limiting the closing of the cell plate holes like traditional Venturi. So, which simply changing the inlet part of the cage of the filter bag, we can better the process, and that's what we are doing. We think is a part of the future way to act for clean air. Of course, the saving of energy could also be seen by another point of view, by increasing the filtration area on a filter bag. Then that has already happened in the past with pleated filter bag. Basically, a wider surface collects more quantity of dust, and so, of course, if the concentration is the same, this will cause the filter bag to last more and the cleaning phase to be reduced. We also introduced a new filter together with an Austrian partner, which is the patent owner. The filter is called Webline, and this filter has a 25% increase in surface filtration that carry us the possibility to treat more air inlet, or if we have an inverter, again, to lower the frequency and save energy. This could be combined as well with a turbo, so to have a futuristic new eco-design cage and filter bag. Of course, emission control is not ending with the design of the eco-design of the filter support, because there is a research on filtering media, because in future emission control we carry to have better filtering media. There is already some challenge in act for some industries, not all the industries, of course. What is important is all the technology should follow up. There is no possibility to change the frequency if you don't have an inverter on an engine. So, of course, this means that not only the inside of the filter, but also all the systems, all the supplementary system and complementary system that are around us collector must improve in the future if we want that some action detected by sensor could apply in physical change of airflow and conditions. This is, let's say, an integration that is nowadays missing and will pose really the question for future and for the enhancing of air quality for future in dust collectors. For sure, all this has an impact and saving energy and looking to the cycle lifetime of the use of filter bags that must be renewed and cages has an impact on cost and on operational expenses. This is very, very often forgotten, and this is, let's say, of course, our aim is to let our customer understand that the operational cost of filtering is something related to cycle life of filtering and not only the first purchase. Investing in decreasing energy consumption, of course, release a potential of a payback time that is much, much quicker than the traditional. If we increase, for example, 25% of wavelength, we have a specific software to calculate this impact in terms of saving of energy involves kilowatt consumed. Of course, this means a little changing also mentality. We have to look at what is happening in dust collector over the time and not just the very first purchase. Finally, safety challenge, how we have impact the safety challenge in our vision in clean air by looking to preventing the nowadays incidents in combustible dust environment still happens, and some mitigation procedures like venting are taken in consideration during the design of dust collectors. But we in clean air we have look a little bit more ahead to prevention. So first to change the characteristic of the treatment, surface treatment of our steel structure in order not to have different steel structure with different potential, air potential. And so we introduce a semiconductive treatment in between a cell plate, which is conductive and very often insulative when it is not anti-static filter bag. Of course, there are specific rules that in Europe under the ATEX directive and in US under the National Fire Protection Association that guide us in this operation. Oh, sorry. How can I go back? This way. I beg your pardon. So, anti-static filter support is what we have did that can reduce the risk of explosion by electrostatic sparks. And of course, it carries, it could carry worker safety conditions during the operation. We all know that dust, combustible dust, could be really a problem in maintenance operation, especially. So how we see the future of dust collector by a convergence of these elements. Artificial intelligence in future must be first sustained by digitization and the sensors that could survive the very often harsh condition of dust collectors, and with a sustainable design that is able to save energy, also in the use of dust collectors, and to reduce environmental impact. As I said, the brave of a cement is visible in the sky, and this is impacting both climate mitigation impact. In conclusion, digitization could improve maintenance and safety and reduce operational expenses, downtime, and sustainability also could help to reduce the energy use. Sustainability, eco-design could help to reduce the energy and emission in future. Safety, of course, mitigate risk. Risk is hazard for people, but also for environment again. Because when these big troubles happen, there's a lot of also matter about pollution in the environment. Our call action for future for clean air, of course, is to embrace all these elements in a clear path towards innovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maciej, for your presentation. Thank you. Next presentation will be held by Mr.